Welcome back to Road to Fire. We're a family of three documenting our journey to fire, financial independence, retire early. Let's talk about our May 2021 portfolio update. I'll provide an update of our investment to the 21st of the month and outline how much we've invested so far this year with all real numbers like always, so please hang with me. So far, we've invested $3,760 into the market in May. This is about where we expected to be in our halfway point through the month. We are still staying the course despite the market fluctuations this month. On the bright side, our expenses have been coming in lower than expected and our side hustle income has been a bit higher than planned. So we're able to spend a bit more to hit our targets this month so far. Is it just me or is everyone predicting a market crash soon? I don't watch the news, but I do subscribe to a few online newsletters that just keep me in the loop if needed. But the noise have been so loud lately. Personally, I think the talk about the market crashing has hit an all-time high. It always baffles me as no one can predict the future. I'm curious to know your thoughts below in the comments. But the great thing about long-term investing is that you don't need to worry about short-term changes in the market. It really has taken the emotion out of investing for us. My husband really looks at our investment accounts and is engulfed in his business, and I try to check in once a month for net worth and portfolio updates for this channel, and that's about it. I find this works best for us. Really working on staying balanced emotionally, mentally, and so forth, especially when investing. So we invest using the dollar cost averaging method, which is an investment strategy that aims to reduce the impact of volatility in the financial markets by investing small sums and having them invested periodically versus all at once. Now, I created an entire video on the pros and cons of this type of investing, and we'll link that here if you want to get into the details. Overall, we have not changed our investing strategy yet, and we will probably do a hybrid of DCA and lump sum investing, but right now we're happy with where we are. So here's our investment portfolio at the midpoint of April or last month. Keep in mind, these numbers reflect our joint holdings, but I like to share last month's update to share the change month over month. In April, our portfolio was just over $305,000, and we had about 52% of our investments in our IRAs as expected. Our mix has been about the same month over month. We have seen our taxable brokerage account grow with hopes of it hitting about $100,000 by the end of this year, but who really knows? Last month, we did see gains in our Roth, which is great as it will definitely be needed for early retirement. Our individual stock portfolio or our Robinhood account represents less than $6,000 overall, but NEO and Gain were our buys last month. Overall, I'm happy with how we were doing in April as we had really strong gains in the market that month. So how has May gone so far? Well, here's our current investment portfolio through May 21st. I always break it out by what type of investment accounts we have, as it shows our long-term strategy clearly. May has definitely had slower gains than April overall. First is our IRAs, which accounts for about 51% of our portfolio and is housed within Vanguard. The balance is just under $158,000. We max out our IRAs every year since 2018, and this is down versus last month's portfolio. Next is our company's 401ks, which are held in Fidelity, and the balances are just around $22,000, and that is up $4,000 as my husband is now finally able to contribute to his company's plan. We have some grounds to make on his accounts to hit the max for this year, though. We then have about $76,000 in our taxable brokerage account, and this includes my son's custodial account and our brokerage account within Robinhood and Vanguard. Our taxable brokerage account acts as our bridge account to early retirement for us. Then we have our Roth accounts, which has a balance just over $50,000 with Vanguard. We can no longer contribute to these accounts directly, and it was flat versus last month. And last is our HSA, which is still only 1% of our total portfolio right now, but has a balance just over $4,300. We don't touch this account as we cash flow all of our medical expenses. So our total portfolio amount in May to date is $311,315, which is lower than expected as we invested nearly $4,000 this month alone. But that is all a part of long-term investing, the ups and downs as expected in the market. But here are some of the individual recent stock buys we had. We bought 2.45 shares of PRPO, and this was a buy based on an informal investing group I'm in. I finally caved and bought a tiny bit of crypto here, just getting my feet wet. And then I bought nearly 67 shares of OCGN, which also came from the investing group I'm in. I'm interested in seeing how these stocks fare out. Our investment portfolio is up $5,000 versus April so far. It's still moving in the right direction, so I'm happy with that overall. But to put things into perspective, if we did not invest anything into the market this month, our investments would be down overall. Now this month we did invest less, but that's okay. We have several financial goals to hit this year, so we have to keep balancing them all. And this is all by design. We knew we will slow down in the mid Q2 timeframe just to get ready for larger purchases in the latter half of the year. I'm so excited to rent out our current unit and start creating clear cash flow and buy a new single family home. Now, this won't be our forever home as that's just not something we do, but it will get my son into the right elementary school, #redlining. Having sufficient cash on hand for planned expenses is just as important to us as investing in the market. Without our sinking funds, we'll probably not be able to invest as much as we do month over month. We could probably cash flow many of our sinking fund expenses, but that would defeat the point of our overall plan. We do have credit cards, but we load them with expenses every month and then pay them off each month as well. Despite us slowing down just a wee bit on investing this month, we still have invested a lot of money into the market this year, more than we have ever. Let's dive into the details. Here is our 2021 investment tracker. This outlines how we're tracking towards our goal of investing over $75,000 after-tax dollars into the market this year. So far, we've invested nearly $30,000 or $29,625 to be exact. That is 39.5% of our goal, which is about where we need to be in the mid to late May timeframe. We will need to invest about $7,825 to hit our halfway mark by the end of June. This will definitely be a stretch for us, but we do have bonuses that will come in the latter half of the year that will help us make up some ground if needed, so I'm not worried overall. Plus, as we move out of this unit, we should be able to cash flow an additional $700 that will help us pay off debt and invest more in the long run. These trackers keep me motivated, but it also highlights our progress. Sometimes it's hard to see all the things you've done without taking the time to just reflect, even for a second. So here are our 2021 sinking funds priorities. We slowed down our investing to put more money into savings, and these are our top priorities. I made an entire video on our sinking funds, and I'll link that here if you want to get into the details. But we added a fourth priority. My husband and I are big travelers, and we're eagerly waiting to get back into it. As places start to loosen up the restrictions, we want to take 1 to 2 family vacations this year. We already booked a trip to DC, but in December our plan is to head back home to spend a few months with our family back in Eastern Africa. That will definitely cost us a few grand, so we're planning for that now. In our FIRE journey, we will never neglect the now to focus on the later. It's about balance for us, and experiences today means memories for later. But in reality, we could be investing more now. We could remove eating out, remove family trips, remove sports activities for my son. We could send him to my parents versus preschool. We could cook every meal at home all the time. I mean, I've seen many FIRE journeyers do this, and honestly, kudos to them, but it just won't work for us. Our FIRE journey is about finding the balance between the now and the later. It's about cutting things that we don't value and focusing on things that we do value. We value family picnics, family vacations, a good education, physical fitness, spiritual balance, and so forth. We found a good balance that works for us while still pursuing FIRE. Yeah, maybe we can invest more and retire earlier, but at what cost? Here are 2 examples of where we put our values ahead of our investing plan. First is giving. We give 10% of our income to our church and local charities. This is something that we'll never negotiate on. Here's a snapshot of our giving statement just for our church for the last several months. Last year we gave less than 10%, and this year we're pushing to hit that goal and exceed it. You can see that we increased our increments to a solid $1,000 a month for our church. Most months we give about $1,300 in total. Why? Well, my faith is my foundation, but it's even deeper than that. I am a product of someone else's generosity. My family came here with nothing but $5 over 35 years ago and now are retired millionaires because someone gave their time, energy, and money to help us along the way. I also received a full tuition scholarship for my undergrad degree because someone over time donated their hard-earned money. I'm hoping to pay it forward. To us, there is nothing more fulfilling than giving to someone else. Our ultimate goal is to give upwards to 50% of our income to those in need later in our life. Number 2 is focusing on paying off low-interest debt. If you run the numbers, you'll probably see that paying this debt off doesn't make the most sense. Our money could be working harder for us in the market. I know that, and I get it. But for mental peace of mind and a sound sleep at night, we really want to get rid of this debt ASAP. So yes, we could be sending an additional $700 to investment this month, but we're working to get this debt out of our way by the end of this year. Being debt-free is something we value. Stay tuned because I'm working on our May debt-free journey update, and we've made great strides this month so far. FIRE is designing your own life on your own terms. It's about aligning your value to your purpose. The book Your Money or Your Life does a great job breaking this down into tangible steps. You can tell a lot about somebody when you look at their budget. How you spend your money should align with what you value. We value giving, we value traveling, we value family time, we value experiences, and this shows in our budget month to month. When we first started our FIRE journey, I was working so hard to mimic those OG FIRE journeyers. I wanted to cut out all the same things they cut out, but then it led to stress, deprivation, depression, and constant bickering with my husband. I realized that we need to outline what mattered most to us and design our plan around that. Learn from our mistake. Don't try to copy or follow someone else's financial journey. Build a plan that works for you. It's okay to be different. Now, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. But don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe below. Until next time.